Morning, everyone. Welcome to part 4. Part 4, Candy's right side end table build. Not her left side shelf. That was a different video. Morning. Anyway, I'm using my 6-inch Harbor Freight cutoff drill master cutoff saw. And I'm just popping it in and outdoors so I don't get a big cloud in here. Cutting some rebar. I want to build a frame for our second shelf on Candy's end table. And for those of you following along, you can tell it's going to be really badass. You know, this is just as easy as carrying the Metabo cutoff saw outside and clamping it down. Actually, this is easier. Just walk outside, plug it in, cut it off, come back inside. No fuss, no muss. We want to at least get that second shelf. At a minimum today, we want to get that installed. Yeah, buddy. Well, we had about 1 inch of snow last night, and the temperatures dropped by about 30 degrees. So it feels more like home now, instead of these like tiny little Indian summers we've been having here and there that plague us usually December, January. I remember one time in January it got to like 50 degrees for one day. I was out in my short sleeve shirt. Yeah, one time maybe in 20 years, it was badass. All right, so we're gonna do a rebar frame because it's gonna match my end table, which it's on my left side, not my end table, Frankenstein table that sits on my right. Okay, we have the rebar cut out with our little saw. That thing works great. I recommend it. $60 well spent. Or maybe it was less than that. I'm not sure. That little thing right there. Anyway, I'm going to start tacking this in, build the frame, put on the second shelf. Every day you gotta start somewhere. Every day. this is a cold day today. But in the interest of saving time in a couple of these videos, so as we don't go into part 10 to part 20, I did a series of ingenious clamping techniques and put up the frame for this end table build. Let me show you. I was going to use some angle iron that I got the other day, but like I told you before, I wanted to match the other furniture that we made for our living area. In order for it to match, I got to thinking rebar is probably going to be the best. We got enough chains. Chains is probably just enough. We don't need any more change. So I thought rebar would be good. So we made a rebar frame. All we did was clamp it up next to these 1.5" square tubing and weld it in using a level. We just used the welder's level to make sure everything was even while we did it. So we do have one piece of expanded metal. Actually, we have two pieces. This one is too thin. This one is not, I wouldn't say just right. I'm gonna have to piece it in because it's all I have. And as I look at this, I think I'm gonna have to piece it in anyway. So I'll just have to match up the seams with the rebar. Before I do anything though, I have to put one more brace in the back side of this. I'm thinking about using angle iron for that. That might be more appropriate. I did grind out the welds in the center of this divider here in anticipation of that. Heck, I'm not sure if it'll do it or not, but I'm gonna try this on this piece of angle iron. This is probably too big, but we'll see. Let's give it a go. Just, I don't know. We got a little piece of cut-off wheel disc left. I tried to cut this angle iron, this big piece of angle iron with this little Harbor Freight cutoff, and made it almost. Just that little bit left is all I got. I'll just use the DeWalt 20 volt to get the rest of that. Alright, that'll work. I knew there was a reason I bought this at Harbor Freight. Yeah, buddy. Oh, it's not going to be far enough. Now let's go sideways. Heck, I could use regular clamp for that. Okay guys, I cut this expanded metal out and I'm piecing it in. It's going to be a couple of pieces. You won't be able to tell when I'm done, just to make everything match up. So I just need to flatten it out and get it welded in. Every time I go in and outside, I track in all this mud into my shop because the ground isn't, well, let's just say the treads of my shoes would pick up every little rock, every little piece of straw, every little piece of dirt. That sucks. But we got a vac. All right, let's get to welding. Today's one of those days. It's one of those days where I feel good. I don't feel talkative. I don't feel tired. I don't feel anything. I'm just kind of lethargic. You ever one of those days where you feel good, but you just kind of like want to just sit around? Yeah, maybe it's because it's the weekend. Well, every day's a weekend for me, but maybe it's because on the weekend up here there's nothing on TV. Yeah, that must be it. That's why the TV isn't on till later tonight. Anyway, I've been slowly plugging away, working on this project, Candy's right side end table. And like always, I've been making it up as I go along. And you know, when you make stuff up and you try stuff and you go, I'm gonna do this, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna do that, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna do this, that ain't gonna work. That doesn't make for very good video. It doesn't make for good filming. And you guys have seen me grind, you've seen me weld, you've seen me drive a tractor, well, kind of crap. Anyway, I've been plugging along at this. I've created my own unique design based on the materials that I have, and I think it's coming along pretty nice. So I welded in the second shelf using rebar and what little bit of expanded metal that I had left, and I had to piece it in. I think I'd had to piece it in anyway, because there's no way you're gonna fit one piece around all those corners. So I welded it in and used a rebar like I said I would as a base. So let me show you how it looks now. Okay, that, I don't have a diamond plate at all, but I do have a 1/4 inch big ginormous sheet of sheet metal. Cut the size. See that? And it's gonna go, I'm gonna lay that on the floor and then flip this upside down and weld it on. And I think the last thing I'm gonna do is the door for the cabinet, but here's how the shelf looks. I like the way it come out. It's very sturdy, that's for sure. But there's her bottom shelf, second shelf, and then we're gonna put that on and make the top and her top shelf. So that's where we're at, boys. Not another one like it in the world. You know, I got this rolling stool. I really like it. I got it at Costco many years ago. It's a stool. Let me show you. My mechanic. It's got a little drawer in it that I never use. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is I roll around on this thing and I put stuff on the floor and I'm always running into a cord, a hammer, a clamp, a piece of metal. It's like not even having a rolling thing. You know, I gotta break that habit. I gotta stop throwing stuff around my work area so I can wheel around it. All right, I'm gonna sweep the floor up, clean up this piece of steel, and get the top on. That's what we all want to see, right? Heck yeah! you can get a lot of books on that. Now the reason I do that is when you're working with metal, either on your desk or on the floor, which is where I weld a lot. That's my level spot, my one spot on the floor that's the most level. Anyway, you got to keep the area clean because unlike wood that has a little bit of give to it, a little bit of softness to it, steel doesn't. So when you put something down, you could have a little piece of steel or a little clipping from your torch of wire or something like that, and that can throw your whole project off because it's steel, it won't necessarily lay flat. And so I think it's kind of important to keep, I'm always wiping my table down, always, because yeah, I made that mistake. I could not figure out why everything was off 1/8 of an inch, and then it turned out I had a little tiny scrap of 1/8 inch steel I'd cut off from a piece that I didn't even notice before when I was working on the table. Yeah, so always, that's my advice. Learning the hard way. Passing it along, do with it what you will. That's the reason I keep everything really clean. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, boys, that looks good upside down, don't it? Heck yeah, it does. We're gonna have to turn the heat up on this baby, way up. Okay, we're going to line the top of this end table with the rebar so it matches my end table, but only this doesn't have a diamond plate top. So we'll compensate by putting awesome rebar on it. Okay, we welded the rebar all the way around the project here. We got it nice and welded in. I might have to hit this a little bit more here. And we'll turn it over. Guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. It's coming out real good. I think it's coming out real nice. Candy's going to be so proud because now she has almost twice the space that she had before. You know, to put her books, cookbooks, and romance novels on. Let me show you. I still need to put in the cabinet door here. Need to grind out the top, clean it up. I really like it though. It's very unique. Not another one like it anywhere in the world. See that? It kind of looked off, but it's perfect. You could put your gold doubloons and your flintlock in there. Alright guys, this was episode 4, so it looks like we're going into episode 5, and because I didn't show you every weld and every grind, there might not be a 6. Or there might be. I don't know. It just depends. God bless every one of you. See you on the next one.